you ever noticed sentences that sound like statements but end with a question mark? These are called declarative questions. They form a unique bridge between declarative and interrogative sentences. Unlike regular questions, declarative questions keep the word order of a statement, but the speaker's voice rises at the end, signaling a question. For example, when someone says, "You're firing me," or "She's moving to Casablanca." The structure is that of a statement, but the intonation and the question mark turn it into a question. These are especially common in spoken, informal English and usually expect a simple yes or no answer. Understanding declarative questions helps you sound more natural and expressive in everyday conversations. Declarative questions are interesting because they look like statements but function as questions. The only thing that marks them as questions is the speaker's intonation, how their voice rises at the end. For example, "He wants to drive to the city at this hour," is structured just like a statement, but the rising tone makes it a question. This is different from regular interrogative sentences, which change word order or use auxiliary verbs. In declarative questions, the form stays the same as a statement. This subtle difference is important for understanding and using natural spoken English. Next, let's see how you can practice forming declarative statements and questions. Let's put this knowledge into practice. Imagine you have a sentence with a blank and you need to choose the correct phrase to make it a declarative statement. For example, "Going home tomorrow." The correct answer is, "I am going home tomorrow." Notice how the sentence is a statement, not a question. This exercise helps you distinguish between declarative statements and questions. Here are a few more examples. "She wrote a letter to the head of the department. The guard was sleeping on duty." "It was a good movie." Practicing these will help you master the difference and use both forms naturally in conversation. Sum up, declarative questions are a fascinating part of English, blending the structure of statements with the function of questions. They're mostly used in spoken informal contexts and rely on intonation rather than word order to signal a question. By practicing how to identify and form both declarative statements and questions, you'll become more confident and fluent in everyday English conversations. Remember, the key is to listen for that rising tone at the end of the sentence. With regular practice, you'll be able to use declarative questions naturally and understand them when others use them in conversation.